Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make an extra tall ombre cake. So take some gel food colour. Here I've used some Regal Purple and I've added a lot of it into some buttercream to make sure I can get a nice dark colour. Then place that into a piping bag and start arranging your cake on its little cake board. So I've used a 5-inch cake and it was about a 7-inch cake board, piping my frosting into the middle of the cake and then placing my second layer on top. Once you've made sure that it's nice and centered, give it a press down and empty out that extra buttercream back into the bowl and add in just regular coloured buttercream to lighten up that colour. You might find that it takes a fair bit of buttercream to lighten up, so what I did is I took out a bit of that frosting and I didn't throw it out, I just saved it because that's going to be used for the outside of the cake later on. Once it's a decent noticeable shade lighter, then it's ready and you can pipe on your next layer. And just continue this process. So you empty out the pack or the piping bag, add in the white buttercream until it's a shade lighter, and then for the very last layer I just added white buttercream, uncolored and just white. Then pop that into your freezer, but first make sure that you clean down all the sides and it's pressing up against the cake, you don't have any bits sort of hanging out. And because it is a super tall cake, you do want to put it in the freezer for about half an hour to make sure it's stable and doesn't move around when you add on the final layer of frosting. So I've used a light lilac shade of purple and I've placed a decent amount on the top of the cake and a generous amount on the outside of the cake, just leveling it off and then using a bench scraper to clean it all up. Now each time you go in again with your bench scraper, make sure that it's clean, that way you make a much neater cake finish. And if there's any gaps or any large spaces that it's missing buttercream, go in with your spatula, fill in those areas and continue to scrape down until you have a nice smooth finish. And then once you're happy with the outside of your cake, take your spatula and kind of pull that lip into the center of the cake to get nice flat edges. And again, I'll pop that into the freezer to rest for about 20 minutes just for the cake frosting to harden. And once that's nice and ready, pop in your embellishments. So I've used a floral bouquet here that I made, and I've got a video tutorial that shows you how to make this and arrange it onto your cake. And you're done. That's how you make an extra tall cake decorated with a floral bouquet. Let's cut into this and see our ombre effect, shall we? It's been a 30-degree day in Melbourne, so my buttercream is pretty soft. And there's your ombre. How easy is that? This is a lot more convenient in terms of time because you don't have to spend the time making 4 separate batches of cake to achieve an ombre. This way, you can also have a chocolate flavored cake. You don't have to limit yourself to a white cake, for example, a vanilla or a white chocolate mud because you have to color the batter. If you color your buttercream instead, you can have whatever sponge flavor you like. So there's a quick shortcut, bit of a cake hack. Thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and give it a shot. Let me know if you do. I'd love to see some photos. Always love seeing photos of your guys' creations. And I will catch you next time.